This video will show you how to replace the crankshaft position sensor on a GMC Sierra 2500 with a 6-liter engine. This will be located on the bottom passenger side of your engine, behind your starter. Let's get into it. Okay friend, let's get started on our job. Before we start any of the removal process, we need to make sure that you have access to a scan tool that can perform a crankshaft position system variation learned procedure. This needs to be done once we've completed the installation procedure. Now let's get into it. Locate your battery on the passenger side of the engine compartment. We're going to be disconnecting our negative battery terminal. You can see it down in this area. We're going to have to use a 10mm to loosen the mounting nut just enough that we can remove the terminal end from the battery. We'll set that aside so it's making no contact with the battery. Now we can pause in the engine compartment. We're going to make our way safely under the passenger side front of the vehicle. Now that we have the negative battery terminal disconnected, let's make our way safely under the passenger side of the vehicle. Now, along the engine is where we can see our vehicle's starter. We're going to have to dislodge the starter so we can gain access to the crankshaft position sensor located just behind it. With that said, to remove this starter, we're going to remove the mounting bolt that's holding this plastic panel in place. We're using a 10mm. Now we're using a 13mm for each one of our two mounting bolts holding this in place. To remove these bolts, you're going to find that you want to have a thin wall socket. Reach up, we're holding onto the starter, we can remove that mounting bolt. It's going to slide right down out of here. Try to prevent it from falling. There's that bolt. We have our plastic panel. Go ahead and start removing that starter. Remove the plastic panel. We're going to set the starter aside. Now with the starter out of the way, we have a clear view of our crankshaft position sensor. We do have an electrical connector that we need to dislodge. Typically this will have a locking tab that you want to carefully make your way underneath, gently pull it away, and slide the connector out and away from the sensor itself. Looking at this one, it looks as though the locking tab has been damaged. Just pull it right out of there. Of course, a quick inspection for corrosion. If you see any, it has to be taken care of. This looks good. We'll set it aside. Now we can remove our 10mm headed mounting bolt. The next thing we'll do is carefully reach up, take hold of the crankshaft position sensor, and attempt to pull it out and away from the engine. Be extremely careful not to break it off into the engine. You can carefully pry as necessary. Prior to installation of any brand new part, of course we want to make sure we clean and inspect our mounting area. For this, I'm using a clean rag. I don't need any type of detergents. I'm going to make my way into my mounting port here and just try to remove any residual residue. Now it's time to install our brand new crankshaft position sensor. You're going to find that I use some clean motor oil directly on my seal. Let's carefully slide this into place, and we're going to align our mounting bolt port. Once we have it aligned, go ahead and start in that mounting bolt. We need to continue pressing this in towards the engine. Once again, just be extremely careful not to break the sensor. Commonly, a gentle twist should help you press this into position. We're aligning our mounting bolt port. We have our mounting bolt. Let's go ahead and start that in. Now we can snug up the mounting bolt and we'll torque it to 18 foot-pounds. There we are. Let's double check to make sure that's secure. It should not move around in any way, and then we'll continue on with our electrical connector. When you go to install your electrical connector, you want to press it in until you hear an audible click from your locking tab. Now, since my locking tab is broken, I'm going to hold this in place using a wire tie because it has to be secured. After you're sure that that's properly secured in place, it's time to start reinstalling our starter. When we bring the starter over, we also have our small plastic panel that has to be installed. The starter will slide through the circular port. Just going to hold this up here. Once you feel as though you have both of those items in place, continue on with your two 13mm headed mounting bolts. After you have both of them started in, go ahead and snug them up and then torque them to 37 foot-pounds. Let's get our first bolt in there. Next mounting bolt. Double check to make sure the starter is properly secured. It should not move around in any way. Now we can secure our plastic panel as well. We're using our 10mm mounting bolt. Start it in, snug it up. One last inspection in this area, and we can make our way out from under the vehicle, back under the hood. Under the hood, we're over at our negative battery terminal. It's time to reconnect that. Once you have it in place on top of the battery terminal, we're going to make sure we tighten our 10mm mounting nut, securing this terminal to the battery. Double check to make sure that's secured in place. Now we finished our installation. Now's the time when you have to make your way into the passenger compartment with your scan tool and complete the crankshaft position variation learn procedure. Thanks for watching.
When only the best will do, demand TRQ. The only company that lets you view before you do. TRQ is committed to offering the highest quality aftermarket auto parts that are engineered for peace of mind. Thanks for using and viewing with TRQ.